Raider Nation, what's going on? I want to say Happy New Year to the entire nation. If you guys want to go down in the comments, let me know some of your New Year's resolutions. I would appreciate it. If you don't want to, just go ahead and type HNY. Happy New Year to the nation. Hopefully 2022 brings us a lot of good. Now, this first question coming in here on today's mailbag from Silver and Black 714. Carson Wentz just tested positive. Raiders. Another reason why you should watch the show, they talked about earlier in the week, Carson Wentz is going to more than likely be able to play against the Raiders because of the new rule, CDC. Instead of 10 games, it's now 5. Sounds like Wentz is going to be playing. Let's go to this one coming in from Ryan Hood. Have you gained confidence in Andre James? Oh, my goodness, yeah. I mean, if you don't follow me on IG or Twitter, I literally said a few days ago, if I were to build a team with the Raiders, I would build around Andre James. He's been that good as a center. Now, if you have the opportunity to get the Iowa center, Lindenbaum, I think he's the best center prospect I've seen in 10 years. You get him at center, you then kick Andre James out to guard if you have enough confidence in him, but James has played very well, and I definitely am impressed by his adjustment this season. Let's go to Shane Gamble. My top 3 favorites for head coach hires: Leftwich, Dable, and then Moore. Bieniemy scares me after watching the YouTube mini doc. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people bring that up as well, and I could actually understand the Raiders not going with Bieniemy because of his background that he's had and some of the baggage he brings. But if the Raiders were to hire any 3 of the guys that you mentioned, I would be happy. Personally, I would rank them as Dable, Moore, and then Leftwich, but yeah, I'd be more than happy to have them. Let's go to Untouchable Raider 1960, and then let's go to some full-screen super chats that I want to get to. Hire Doug Pederson, re-sign Mariota as a backup, and still use him as a wildcat to a cheap deal. I don't want to bring back Marcus Mariota, if I'm being 100% honest. I mean, guys, he hasn't been healthy, and even when he's been out there, the Raiders are so unconfident in his ability to throw that they only run with him. In terms of Doug Pederson, I would actually like the hire of Pederson. He made my Raiders head coaching candidates. For those of you that don't know, he was the head coach of the Eagles, won a Super Bowl. The whole Carson Wentz drama thing ended up happening, and then they let him go. But, yes, I would love Doug Pederson as a head coach hire. Now, let's go to some super chats that I got coming in here. This one's from One Blessed Exec. What do you think about us sending Mariota and Waller to Carolina for McCaffrey and draft picks? No. As much as I like Christian McCaffrey, I'm not going to give up Waller I wouldn't give up Darren Waller for Christian McCaffrey for the simple fact of running back to me is a very easy position to be able to replace. And since McCaffrey signed his big deal, that guy has not been able to stay healthy. So, unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and say no unless you're throwing first-round draft picks at me. Jonathan Mays, if we make the playoffs, do you still think Mark will go to reconstruct mode? Yes, because there's no way you can watch this team from inside the locker room, from outside the locker room, and say, you know what, I'm confident in that staff. Where'd you get that jersey, bro? I got it from a random guy in Las Vegas the first week I went out there this season. Broncos only 22 rushing yards. We can hold the Colts to 75. In fact, the Broncos actually, I believe, only had 18 rushing yards. And hopefully the Raiders can hold Jonathan Taylor. But Jonathan Taylor in that rushing attack is a much different attack. Bad influence. New Year's resolution, work out more so I can drink more beer. I'm on board with that. Mondo 760. Raiders are playoff bound. I feel it in my heart. Well, Mondo, I hope you're right, my man. Let's go to this next one coming in from Just Do Nothing. Got a wild trade idea. All right. Trace, if there's any way you can make this trade, that way it's a little bit easier for everyone to see, I would appreciate it. So the Saints trade for Derek Carr and a 5th. Raiders get Michael Thomas, a 1st in 2022 and a 2nd in 2022. Yes or no? All right, so it looks like Trace has this made. So here's what the trade idea is, and this is our mailbag trade idea. Remember, I didn't come up with it, but if you guys could take a screenshot, put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram. These are my favorite because people are like, Mitch is such an idiot for coming up with this. Remember, it's mailbag, so I didn't come up with it. Michael Thomas, a 1st and a 2nd for Derek Carr and a 5th-round pick. All right, well, who do you all think wins this trade? Shout out to Trace. Also, Trace is a Saints fan, so this one probably is really interesting to him. Type R for the Raiders, type S for the Saints. Who ends up winning this deal? Now, I like Michael Thomas a lot as a receiver, but he basically hasn't played in a year and a half. He's dealing with some ankle injuries. However, when he is on the field, I do think he is a top receiver. I like Derek Carr. Personally, I'm starting to think that the Raiders are going to be able to get 2 first-round picks for him. I think if the Saints tried to trade away Thomas, remember they signed him to a 5-year, $100 million contract. If you could guarantee me that Thomas is 100% healthy, and you could guarantee me that the Raiders go out and get a good quarterback, then I'd be okay with it. So I think this deal actually helps out both sides because the Saints are really strapped for cash and kind of helps out both sides. Now, if the Raiders decide to pull off a just fucking batshit crazy trade like this, excuse my language, I usually don't drop the F-bomb. I think it's only my 7th F-bomb ever on the show. Excuse me. We're going to make a video around it. So if you want daily Raiders coverage all year long, go ahead and hit that big red button, y'all, that says subscribe. Turn on those notifications. And I just saw Gabriel says, this trade sucks. Guess what? The Raiders Report is about interaction, and I love the interaction that we get here on the show. So if that's what you're about, seriously, hit that sub button. Let's go to the next question here on the Raiders Report. Mr. 84 highlights. What do you think about going and trading for a corner or signing one in free agency? Now, if you're going to go out and sign a corner, a lot of the good ones are a little bit older guys like Stephon Gilmore's a free agent. I know some. Personally, I would say this. You figure out what you got to do to bring back Casey Hayward, because even I know Casey Hayward's a Gus Bradley type of fit. I really truly believe, though, if you're talented enough, you can figure things out. Like, I wanted Rasul Douglas. I don't know if you guys remember, Rasul Douglas was one of my sleeper picks. I said Rasul Douglas was the third best cornerback on the Raiders roster behind Hayward and Mullen. If a player is good enough, you figure out ways to get it going. The issue is with the Raiders, they play favorites. They don't have the proper coaching staff to put guys in the right position. If I'm the Raiders, you have Trayvon Mullen. If he's healthy, he's a good corner. And then you bring back Casey Hayward. You have a lot of younger guys as well. So, personally, I'm not going to go out and trade for anyone unless a top guy comes out. Like, if you're telling me that last trade idea we had, you throw Marshawn Lattimore in that mix, then I'd go out and trade for somebody like that. But a lot of the guys in free agency are a little bit up there in age. Let's go to Raul Baltazar. Any chance we keep Gus? I'd probably give it only one Chucky head. Again, guys, it comes down to who the Raiders decide to bring in as that new head coach. If he wants a new defensive coordinator, if you're Mark Davis, you're crazy not to give him it. And it's because why bring in a head coach if you're not going to give him the guys that he wants? So, personally, if I understand, I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's go to Crick UD. Broncos, only 22 rushing yards. We can hold the Colts to 75. Fingers crossed. The issue is Jonathan Taylor is a much different monster. So when you look at this game right here, Week 17, Raiders up against the Indianapolis Colts, I want you guys to go ahead and try to predict the score. Raiders up against Indy. The last time that I checked, the Colts were 7-point favorites. 7-point favorites at home up against Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas did a good job last week up against Denver. Really, really hoping we get the same thing going. So let me know down in those comments, y'all, your score prediction for Raiders up against Indy. All right, this one's coming in from Mr. 84 Highlights. Then I got a few supers to get to, so take me full screen. I'm going to be at the Week 18 game against the Bolts. Congrats. I mean, I was really hoping I was going to be able to go as well. Unfortunately, though, not going to be able to go to Las Vegas anymore. A lot of these COVID rules, my company wants to play it safe. So I was wanted to be able to go, but unfortunately not going to be able to go. Let's go to some super chats. Here we got one coming in from Shane Gamble. Honestly, I think Mark Davis should hire a head coach first and let them make their decision on Carr. I agree. Could actually not agree more. The fact that Davis basically hinted at the fact that he's going to make the decision on Carr, personally, I don't like that because no offense to Mark Davis, he has no idea what's going on in terms of football IQ. And then bring in either Woodson or Brown for president. We'll see ultimately with president. I actually like Tim Brown and Woodson, but Woodson to me doesn't really seem like he's interested. Tim Brown would be more interested in my personal belief. Wild on 14, if we hired a defensive-minded coach, who is a new offensive coordinator we would hope? I would say, again, if you're going to bring in an OC, usually guys like to promote or get a promotion. Mike Kafka, quarterback coach for Kansas City, could be a guy to keep in mind. And then what's a player on offense you would trade for? This one's from JJ. The only trades I'm going to be trying to make are probably for a quarterback, whether that's Deshaun Watson if he comes back. We'll say he didn't do all those terrible things. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, depending on how much Seattle would ask for. If you want to go out and trade for other guys, I don't know if New Orleans would trade Ryan Ramczyk, their right tackle, because of their cap situations. Trace is saying no way in the background. Again, I don't think it would happen, but if I'm going to go out and make a deal, I want to go out and make a deal for one of the top right tackles in the league, and Ryan Ramczyk would be a guy. I don't see it happening. Let's go to Aaron Sosa. DC is our quarterback. I know there's a lot of people out there on that boat, and that's fine. I like Derek Carr. I don't understand why people are so happy with having a quarterback that's not in the top 10. He is in the top 15, but he's 11 through 15. He's got 20 touchdowns, 17 turnovers. Are all those turnovers are all his fault? No, of course not. He's had a lot of baggage against him. However, if you're realistically trying to build a team for the future, and I really think going for that home run swing, which is what I would try to do, is getting a young quarterback, building around them, more money to build a complete team. I mean, you always say, let's build the Las Vegas Raiders. It's not the Las Vegas Derek Carrs. Now, if anybody out there needs some Raiders gear, don't worry, guys. I got you covered. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders sale, where we have Raiders gear up to 50% off, whether you need a t-shirt, whether you need shorts, pajamas, whether you need, gear like this. We got a Raiders snapbacks. We got curved brims. We have all sorts of hats. We got sweatshirts. I mean, we got awesome deals. So if you see anything that you like over here, we have hundreds. I'm going to say it again. Hundreds of Raiders stuff on sale at the link that you see below. Chatsports.com/Raiders sale. That link is going to be available for you all in the comments and in the description of this video. Chatsports.com/Raiders sale. So remember, #Raiders or Super Chat to get your questions here on the show. All right, we got Young Jay. Quarterback do you want for Carr? Which quarterback do I want for Carr? If I'm going to trade Derek Carr, I mean, the most likely scenarios, I really think the most likely destination for Carr would be the Cleveland Browns would be a destination. I wouldn't want Baker. I think the Texans would be up there for a destination. Then I would say get Watson. The Seahawks could be a team. They need first-round picks. The New York Giants could be a team that I could see being potentially interested. The New Orleans Saints would be a team that I could see being interested. Even the Carolina Panthers. So those would be the teams. But if you're going to trade, the only teams that I'm trading, or the only quarterbacks I'm trading for, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and then Deshaun Watson if all his legal stuff checks out. Let's go to Martin. The Raiders' offense needs to play the way they did versus Dallas, and the defense needs to play like they did versus the Broncos. You're not 100% wrong by any means. The issue has been finding that consistency because Derek's been very inconsistent. The play calling's been very inconsistent, but I'm with you. They need to be able to figure out ways to stretch the ball down the field. They need to show a lot more confidence, and that's been one of the biggest issues with this Raiders offense, which, by the way, this Raiders offense since Week 9 is bottom 5 in the NFL. Think about that, please. So I want you guys to, I think we actually already did predict the score. Who you got? Type LV for the Raiders or IND for the Indianapolis Colts. Let me know down in the comment section who you guys got. Week 17 game. Really hoping the Raiders come out on top. Make sure you subscribe because I am going to be going live on Sunday for our Raiders versus Colts watch party. Now, if I didn't get to your question here on this mailbag, I apologize. We had over 1,300 people watching here today. So remember, DM me, give me a follow. I am going to be I am off on New Year's Eve. I'm probably going to be watching a lot of college football. Also, Chuck's birthday is December 31st. I'm throwing him a little bit of a birthday party, so hopefully it's a good time. If you want to see how the party goes, if you want to see how much Chuck has grown, hit me up on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. Now, guys, I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Remember, I can't always get to all the news and rumors that I want to during a regular work week, especially during the holidays. So that's another reason to hit me up on IG at Mitchell Renz 365.